Her nose wouldn't stop growing. Relax, besties, and listen to this amazing story that will blow your minds. Long time ago, in the peaceful village of Umuta, there lived a girl called Adanma. Adanma was what you would call beauty with confidence, or at least that's what everyone thought. She was curvy, brown-skinned, soft-spoken, and the perfect definition of a woman. Whenever she walked through the village market, even the wind slowed down to admire her shape. The women would whisper, "See as she fine like morning sun." The men, they couldn't think straight whenever she smiled. But deep inside, Adanma carried one secret battle, something that did not sit well with her nose. Every morning, she would wake up before sunrise, tie her hair in a scarf and stand in front of her wooden mirror. The same mirror she had had since she was 13. She would tilt her head, touch her face and frown. "I hate my nose," she would say. "If only it was as beautiful as Uche's." Now, this mirror had seen everything. The tears, the complaint, the little poses she made before going out. It never argued back. It just watched her quietly, patiently, like it was waiting for the day her words would finally come through. You see, the problem wasn't her nose. Her nose was fine. Small enough to fit her face, big enough to give her character. But Adanma did not see that. All she saw was what she wasn't. And in Umuta, once you start hating what you have, the spirit of the land starts to listen. The elders used to say, "A woman who causes her own beauty invites strange things." But who listened to the elders anymore? Adanma did not. She kept looking at her reflection, twisting her face, sighing, wishing and comparing. Her best friend Uche had what she believed was the perfect nose, sharp, pointed, smooth like glass. Sometimes, when they walked together, Adanma would deliberately look away when people praised her, because deep down, she believed Uche's nose made her look more classy. The mirror, still silent, almost looked sad because it knew something Adanma did not. The more she hated her nose, the more her trouble was coming. Uche was her best friend, completely opposite of her. Not as curvy, not as glowing, but she had one thing she always bragged about: her nose. Small, pointed, sharp, like it was carved by the gods themselves. Whenever she walked past a mirror, she didn't walk, she posed, turning left, then right, admiring herself like a model that lost her way to Lagos Fashion Week. But deep inside, Uche envied Adanma too. Yes, so envy is a silent disease. She would smile sweetly when Adanma passed, but the moment her back turned, she would hiss so loud even the chickens would pause. Because in Umuta, when they sang about beauty, they sang about Adanma. When they told stories of grace, they mentioned Adanma. Even the village drummers, they composed songs for her shape. Adanma the curvy girl, Adanma the sunshine. They would sing while Uche pretended to dance but cried inside. The men did not help matters either. They would wave at Uche, but their eyes were on Adanma. Some even followed her to the market just to carry a basket and feel useful. And whenever Adanma smiled, Uche's heart sank deeper. Because how do you compete with someone the whole village already crowned? One day, after another round of silent jealousy, Adanma said, "Uche, tell me the secret to your beautiful nose. It's so perfect." Uche's heart jumped. That question felt like opportunity mixed with revenge. She smiled, her face calm, but her mind plotting. It's a special potion I use every night," she said, her voice soft like honey hiding pepper. Adanma gasped. "A potion? From where?" Uche waved her hand dramatically. "Ha, bestie, don't worry, I will get one for you." That moment, something shifted in the air, because on that day, jealousy and insecurity held hands and made a dangerous promise. Now, Uche did not even have the potion she mentioned. She just said it to sound important. But after Adanma's excitement that day, she couldn't go back and say it was a lie. Her mouth had written a check her mind could not cash. So she began asking around secretly, "Abeg, who knows where I can get a beauty potion?" The villagers whispered one name, Mama Njoko. a woman who lived near the river bank, half herbalist, half trouble, and fully dangerous when annoyed. That night, Uche carried a small lantern and followed the bush path to Mama Njoku's hut. The frogs croaked louder than her heartbeat. The wind blew like it wanted to tell her to turn back, but jealousy makes people deaf to warning. When she got there, the place was covered in smoke. Skulls hung from the ceiling. A black cat sat on a calabash, staring like it knew her secret. Uche swallowed hard and said, "Mama Njoku, please, I need something that will make my friend's nose beautiful." Mama Njoku looked up slowly. Her eyes were red, her smile crooked. She said, "Or do you want to make it grow forever?" Uche blinked, confused. No, just beautiful," she stammered. But Mama Njoku had already started mixing something inside the pot. The sound of boiling liquid filled the room. She poured frog's tears, a drop of snake oil, and a pinch of jealousy. Yes, so jealousy. Because spirit can smell it. Then she whispered something in a language Uche did not understand and handed her a small black bottle. "Give her this," Mama Njoku said, smiling dangerously. She would never forget beauty. Uche thanked her and hurried off, clutching a bottle to her chest. She didn't even know she had just carried her friend's downfall and her own karma in that tiny bottle. That night, the moon watched her walk home and shook its head, because in Umuta, when envy walks at night, it never comes back alone. The next day, Uche gave the potion to Adanma. "Rub it on your nose every night before bed," she said sweetly, her eyes twinkling like she had just told the best joke ever. Adanma did not even hesitate. She didn't smell it. She didn't question it. She didn't even blink twice. All she could think about was finally having a nose that looked like Uche's. That night, she sat by a little window, the moonlight peeling on her brown skin. She held the potion like it was a treasure, a golden solution to all her problems. Slowly, she poured a few drops onto her finger and rubbed it gently along her nose. She smiled at her reflection. "Tomorrow, my nose will be perfect," she whispered. Then she went to sleep, dreaming of compliments, admiration, and the jealous looks she would receive. But by morning, something was wrong. The mirror shivered. No, it screamed. Not literally, of course. The glass did not move. But if mirrors could scream, this one would have screamed louder than the village gong. Adanma woke up, stretched, and froze. Her nose, it wasn't just long, it was just weird. It had grown like yam tendrils, curling over her lips, slapping her cheeks, brushing against her chest. She yelped, nearly tripping over her slippers. "Oh no, oh no, oh no," she shouted, running to the village river to see her reflection. And as she looked, she realized her nose had a life of its own. It twitched, it waved, it practically waved hello at the fish in the river. At first, Adanma thought it was a dream. "Maybe I just slept funny," she muttered. But when she sneezed, the nose sweated the window like a broom. Word spread fast. By mid-morning, villagers began gathering outside her hut. Children came running, laughing so hard their bellies hurt. "Look, it's Adanma. Her nose is eating the sun," one shouted. Old women who usually whisper secrets of herbs and curses screamed from their verandas. "Adanma, who did you offend in the spirit world?" Men tried to help, but they tripped over the long coiling nose. Dogs barked, chickens scattered, even the village ghost stared with judgment. And Uche, she came pretending to cry. Tears rolled down her cheeks. "Oh, bestie, I am so sorry." But deep down, she was dancing inside like she had just won the lottery. Because finally, the envy she had planted had grown into a tree, and it had fruit, Adanma's fruit. By nightfall, Adanma was exhausted, tangled in her own nose. She whispered to herself, "Why didn't I just love what I had?" But in Umuta, lessons were learned the hard way, with laughter, chaos, and a little magic. One night, Uche could not sleep. Her mind was racing. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Adanma's face, and that endless, twisting, yam-like nose that seemed to have a life of its own. She tossed and turned, a blanket tangled around her, like the tendrils of karma itself. The wind whispered through her windows, carrying laughter of the village children, and it made her shiver. Her conscience poked her like a persistent mosquito. Uche, what have you done? It seems to whisper. Finally, unable to bear it, she ran through the dark village to Mama Njuku's hut. The frogs croaked warning, the river whispered secret, but Uche did not stop. Mama, please, please help me reverse it, she begged, kneeling on the ground. Mama Njoku looked at her over the rim of her calabash, a crooked smile growing wider. Once beauty becomes greed, she said slowly, it never goes back. Uche's eyes filled with tears, and she sank to the floor shaking. She begged, she pleaded, she promised to be better, but the potion had already done its work. The lesson was done, and for the first time, Uche realized that envy and lies can create chaos that even magic cannot fix. As word of Adanma's extraordinary news spread, an old woman from the neighboring village decided to visit. Her hair was silver, her eyes gentle, and her presence carried calm of 1,000 whispered proverbs. She walked into Adanma's hut, touched her cheek and said softly, "My child, your beauty was never the problem, your discontent was." Adanma blinked, tears rolling down her cheeks. "Can I ever be normal again?" she asked, voice trembling. The woman smiled knowingly. "When you start loving the nose you hated, only then will peace return." From that day, Adanma began speaking to her reflection differently. She said, "Thank you, God, for my nose," she whispered every morning, and slowly, gently, the magical growth began to slow, until finally her nose stopped. She realized something important. Beauty isn't what others see, it's what you accept in yourself. Months later, the village woke up to another shock. Uche, who had laughed secretly while Adanma struggled, began to notice something strange. Her own nose, once so perfect, started shrinking. It shrank smaller and smaller until it almost disappeared. Panicked, she ran to the mirror, screaming, "What is happening to me?" Mama Njoku's voice seemed to float from nowhere. "Beauty that comes from deceit will never stay." Now, the villagers who once mocked Adanma turned their eyes to Uche. They whispered, laughed, and pointed. Poetic justice had arrived. Uche learned in the most uncomfortable way that envy and lies always come back to you. Eventually, Adanma forgave Uche, and both girls learned something that day that will stay with them forever. You cannot hate your own reflection and expect peace. Every feature on your face, every curve on your body exists for a reason. Sometimes, the thing you hate most about yourself might be what makes you unforgettable. So the next time you look in the mirror, don't say "I hate my nose." Say, "God really took his time on me." Moral of this story: love yourself. Comparison is the root of misery, and sometimes it even grows noses. If you love this story, besties, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to share with someone who needs a little reminder to love themselves just as they are.